Hello. Today I'm going to be talking about democracy of BJP and Congress and compare them to their democratic credentials. Let's begin. Hello. I am a global nationalist. I support nationalism in my country, India, and in all countries around the globe. Today I'm going to be talking about Indian nationalism in general. The topic for today is a comparison of the democratic credentials of the parties, BJP and Congress. I'm going to look at their individual elections within the party and how they've governed India uh, in when they were in power. And I'm going to see who is more democratic or than the other, or whether there is at all a difference between the two. Let me get started. Here, let me show you the elections of the president of the Indian National Congress. Now, the president of the Indian National Congress is the chief executive of the Congress. Constitutionally, that means the constitution of the party. The president is elected by an electoral college composed of members drawn from the Pradesh Congress committees and members of the All India Congress Committee. In the event of any emergency because of any cause, such as death or resignation of the president elected as above, the most senior general secretary discharges the routine function of the president under the working committee. And there is no term limit for the president. Now, the party was founded in 1885, but I will only be talking about the presidents from independence onwards. Here is the list post independence. First, it was in 1948 to 49, Bogaraju Pattabhi Sitaramaya. 1950, Purushottam Das Tandon. Jawaharlal Nehru for three terms from 51 to 52, 53, and 54. And then he was succeeded by U.N. Deva. And then who was succeeded by Indira Gandhi, who served for 1 year. And various others got power, became the president. And then in 1978 to 83, Indira Gandhi became the president, and Rajiv Gandhi became the president after her. And from 92 to 94, in three terms, P.V. Narasimha Rao became president. Another person became president 96 to 98. And Sonia Gandhi became president in 1998 and served until 2017. In 2017, Rahul Gandhi became president. And then in 2019, Sonia Gandhi again became president. And now Mallikarjun Kharge is the president. This shows that one family has been holding the presidency for four generations, totally almost more than for the majority of the history of Congress in independent India. So this shows that they are, although their elections do happen to the president, more they are actually not probably not fair elections, and that the party is informally handing the presidency down from uh, the older family member to their children. This is basically nepotism, and I completely condemn it. This is not democratic at all. Here are the list of the presidents of the BJP. The president of the BJP is the chief executive authority of the BJP and fills a number of roles. And any candidate for presidency needs to have been a member of the party for at least 15 years. The president is nominally elected by an electoral college composed of members drawn from the party's national and state councils, but in practice is a consensus choice of senior members of the party. The term of the president is 3 years long, and individuals may not serve more than two consecutive terms. So already this is more democratic than the Congress, which does not have term limits or state the amount of years one term is. This is why Sonia Gandhi could be president for almost 2 decades. So the first president was Atal Bihari Vajpayee from 1980 to 1986. Then L.K. Advani, then Murli Manohar Joshi, then L.K. Advani again. Yeah, the other several other people. 2002, 2004, Venkaiah Naidu, who was now in government. And again, 2004, 2005, L.K. Advani, 2005, 2009, Rajnath Singh, and from 2014 on to 2020, Amit Shah was the president, and 2020 to now, uh, JP Nadda is the president. This shows that none of these mem- presidents inherited the presidency. They all had to be elected. Although there was, like I mentioned earlier, it is a consensus choice of the senior members of the party. They don't practice nepotism. There are obviously other problems that BJP has that they share with Congress, such as corruption, abuse of power, etc. But they are not a hierarchical, family-based party like the Congress. So in that way, they are more democratic. Now, let me see what the policies of theirs during their time in office. Uh, Nehru, for example, he his he established the IITs, the Center for Science and Industrial Research, the Defense Research and Development Organization. But these institutions were very bureaucratic and centralized and failed to promote scientific progress in India. And, and there was too much corruption. There was a disdain toward industry and profit, and so this was because these were government institutes and they were controlling scientific research in India. So this shows a rather undemocratic socialistic way of thinking of economic progress and industrial progress in general. And he, in his the first amendment to the Constitution, passed by his government in 1951, he eliminated the right to property as a fundamental right and made it a constitutional right. This is a completely undemocratic policy because I believe the right to property is fundamental. And Indira Gandhi nationalized industries, which is again undemocratic. So you can see that Congress has been fairly undemocratic during its time in power. What does this show? This shows that the current outcry of Modi being undemocratic, being dictatorial, and worse, less democratic than Congress is false. The In fact, if you look at the state governments that have been dismissed in independent India, almost all of them happen under either the Congress party's government or under other the governments of other opposition parties. And the BJP under Modi has never dismissed the state government. So that way too, they are more democratic. Of course, the BJP has its own democratic failings. They are using the investigation agencies to jail their political opponents. and they've clearly got some of the media onto their side. Not all, but some media channels, media persons are supporting them, biased towards them, perhaps through financial power, perhaps through other methods. But it must be mentioned that the there are still many media channels and newspapers and journalists who are opposed to the government and criticize it openly, but they're getting pushback from right wingers and Indian Hindu nationalists, and they're upset with that. So I think this gets to the crux of the matter, where democracy, what the left in India is talking about democracy as, they really mean their rule, their power over the country. They want to be in power, and they believe that when they are not elected, that the country's democracy is not functioning properly. I disagree. I don't think that the functioning of a democracy is dependent on who they vote for, but rather on how they vote, whether they vote peacefully, whether uh, there is transparency in election process, where the elections are fair, whether there's no uh, and then once elected, whether the government rules through the rule of law and does not oppress the people. On those counts, I believe that the BJP is much more democratic than Congress. But it must be said that Congress has, after independence, promoted democracy in the country. They did not try to stop any election from happening or overturn any election. So I appreciate that. I Yeah, that's so. Of course, if you disagree with me, that's fine. But I believe that the BJP is more democratic than the Congress. That's what I wanted to say. Please share your feedback about this video in the comment section. If you want to see other videos about Indian nationalism in general, click here. If you want to see my previous video, click here. If you want to see the sources I use for this video, click the links in the description below. Thank you for watching. Goodbye.